The Nigerian Exchange Group, like the board of SEC, has been in transition for a couple of years from a company limited by guarantee to a for-profit public company accountable to thousands of shareholders. It has been a challenging time, DG, navigating new pathways and balancing the interests of so many stakeholders. But I'm happy to say that gradually but surely, we are finding our equilibrium, and the future is very bright for the group and the capital market in general. Our current strategy as a public for-profit holding company is to improve and deepen our digital infrastructure, expand our market vertically and horizontally, and continue to maintain our position as a world-class organization in terms of staff quality, welfare, technology, and customer service. With respect to all these objectives, we recently launched a digital platform for primary market offers, which can be easily and seamlessly accessed from the handsets and tablets of millions of new and existing investors. This is coming at a time when the CBN has directed banks to increase their capitalization, which will broaden the reach of our market and introduce millions of younger Nigerians to the capital market. We are also extending our reach across Africa through our hand-holding a recent investment in Ethiopian Stock Exchange. These are many other initiatives that we'll be discussing in depth today as to position the NGX Group for a sustainable and profitable future with your support, DG. Our achievement of this objective will depend on partnership and good relationship with stakeholders like SEC, and that is why this visit is so important and it's a welcome development for our NGS.
What are we trying to do? Now today, this is how you currently invest in an offer in Nigeria. This is a form for one offer that had been announced before now. This is what we've known before now. You fill this paper with all of the information. You take this to the registrar, you take it to an issuing house, you take it to maybe a broker, and then we start that journey. We all know what comes with this. Everything from your dividend challenges to your reconciliation, even for the issuer, for the registrar, all of the hours that we burn. Of course, we all understand, and there's no need to speak to what the benefit of a digital journey is. So if you're left here with one thing, it is that NGX is essentially trying to make sure that this comes to an end. And we dare say that we're at that moment now, that we can see how offerings can be end-to-end digital. And as we will explain soon, in the world where the question and answers take us there, the entire market has an opportunity today that it's actually banks that are first in adopting this technology, because it could have been non-banks. It could have been non-banks. So the meaning of that is the technology you're about to see. I would say any bank you've heard their name about public offer recently has connected into this technology. So any bank that is coming to the market today has given you an opportunity that as you go on your mobile app of that bank, as you're doing your regular business, you would see their offer there. And once you click on that thing, in few steps, you'll be able to invest, and then it will speak to this technology that we have. It's a big blessing because that end-to-end, removing paper from our market, we can achieve it through the banks. Because unlike the other kinds of offerings where your paper would have come in from multiple banks, it is very likely that because this is a bank transaction, I'm not sure that one bank will open its doors for paper to be able to sell the paper of another bank. So we have to assume that most of the paper that would come will be from that bank and its branches. So we have a unique opportunity that that bank in question is also digital to the exchange. So surely that paper, that bank can change that into digital. We're lucky with that. Because if it was a case where it was multiple banks with multiple papers for the issuer, which is non-bank, then we can see how that's a bit more difficult. The issuer might actually even complain and say, just leave my paper. So it's a very remarkable, auspicious moment, I think, for the market. And we really are looking to seize that moment. We're grateful for the regulator support in this regard. What you're about to see, we can distribute anything on this. I think we've always said we are not a stock exchange. We are, a market infrastructure. It just so happens again that the banks with shares are the first consumers of this. But this is a gateway, a platform for distributing financial products, which is then quite remarkable. So all of a sudden, we will have, as a capital market, a product that can distribute anything and that has endpoints into pretty much every bank account. It's quite remarkable what that can do for our markets. Final thing I will say before we do the demo is we still are aware of the importance of our market intermediaries. So when people hear banks, they probably wonder, are we changing the market structure? No. Like we said, today you can pick this form from any bank. So the fact that banks also have these APIs and the ability to consume this, we haven't changed anything. And we've also then said, in that interaction, there must be a market intermediary. There must be a broker that is registered by the SEC. So hopefully we grow that pie for everybody. The economics are better. We have much deeper markets, much more sustainable markets, and we take it from there. So with that, let me ask that we go into the demo. I will maybe stand here. As we go along, I will just make one or two comments on different parts of it because we've demoed this to so many stakeholders, and the questions tend to be very similar. Things around load. Can this thing handle load? How do we make sure it doesn't break down? Vulnerability, ease of access. So as we go through, I probably will address those because that might then help our Q&A to be a bit more efficient.
You can't be a world-class capital market without digitization. You can't be a world-class market using papers. You can't be a world-class market not being able to capture adequate information. You can't be a world-class market with, loads of unclaimed dividends. It's not. So, for us at the SEC, and especially for this team, the new team that has been appointed by the president, we are committed to creating a market that is new, a market that is viral, a market that is full of innovation, a market that you all will be proud of, that you are part of. One way of doing that is through innovation. We are poised for that innovation, and so, because we had started it long ago, but the challenge is, as regulators, we issue regulations, we issue rules. The implementation of such rules and regulations is on the market operators and market infrastructure. How long it takes is a matter of time. But our desire, as you can see, was since 2019. And by the issuance of that rule, which was actually signed off by the Minister, right, of Finance, we meant that at 2019, we should have been here. But today, this is 2024. How many years after? Approximately 6 years after or thereabout. That's when we have, arrived at this point. But it is when you wake up that is your morning.
Of course.
So we have started, and we cannot go back. We must make sure that this market takes care of the digital age. Who are those that are investing in Nigeria today? Well, maybe not equities, but the investors in Nigeria today, by our demography, are the young people, the Gen Zs. And what do the Gen Zs believe in? Is it paper? No. It's their smartphone. And there's no way this paper can enter the smartphone. So you need to work for them. This morning, I was in an event, powered by Chapel Hill Denham on private capital for infrastructure. And the country mission director for Africa for USAID said, 74% of Nigerians are below 24 years. 74% of Nigerians are below 24 years. What does that speak to? It speaks to the fact that you cannot go analog anymore. If you want to join the train, you must make provision for these young persons that we are speaking to. And how do you do that without innovation? How do you do that without digitization? How do you do that without coming to their world? How do you do that without speaking to them? Through computers, through apps, through avenues that they understand. Have you seen a young person type on the phone? It's pa 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 pa. If you ask my dear friend Chifunga to do that, it will take him 1 year. He will be doing dot dot dot. Because this is their world. We may not understand it, but it's their world. We must walk to their world to be able to achieve the purpose for which we are here. We are not meant to be here as a market to be speaking to 200 investors. It's a crying shame. We are not here to speak to 300 investors. We are not here to speak to 500 investors. Our population is over 200 million. If we in this room are not able to make significant impacts in the number of investors that come to the market in the next 5 years, then we have failed. We had failed before because we didn't achieve it. But we now have time to redeem ourselves. It is about redeeming the times. So it's an expectation that we should be able to grow this market. And we can only grow this market via processes, legitimate processes, proven processes, so that we can be as fast as lightning, even in the market. The Gen Zs do not waste time. They hate delays. So, if you want to catch up with them, if you want them to come into your world, if you want them to embrace the market, then you must work with them. The way to work with them is the way we are going. Every exchange is allowed by the rules. Every exchange is allowed by the rules to set this up. We encourage competition at the SEC, right? It's not NGX alone. If any other exchange is qualified by our rules, they are welcome. Competition brings efficiency, and we encourage that. But one thing we will not encourage is when you violate the regulations.